Hello, welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Pinchas. Another kiss from Hashem. The Parsha and the Daf are connected, and Daf Samech Bais in Chulin, 60b, it connects to this week's Parsha of Pinchas, במדבר, Chavches Tesvav, chapter 28, verse 15. The Gemara says, Amar Pinra Pinchas, B'chol HaKarbanos, k'siv s'yuzim echad chatas. By every korban it says they should bring a sin offering, a he-goat for a sin offering. But by Rosh Chodesh it says something different. It says שעיר עזים echad chatas להשם. It adds the word to Hashem, something that is not mentioned anywhere else in the Torah regarding the korban chatas. Now there's a well-known Agadeta, well-known Midrash, that the sun and the moon used to be the same size, and the moon was diminished after the moon said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how could it be that two kings are sharing one crown? How could we be co-equals? And after it was shrunken by Hashem, the moon went back and said, I had a just case. I was right. How could I be punished for that? In response, Hashem said some amazing thoughts. It says, Haviyu kaparo alai. Bring an atonement for me, that I diminished the moon. Now, the commentators go agog on this. How could it be that Hashem sinned, and how could there be an atonement for such sin? So I'm going to share a few of the answers that I found. The first one is Tosfos Harush, and he says that this was a lesson of Musar, that Hashem was showing us how to act when a master has to discipline the servant. Then after the discipline is done, he should still try to appease the servant, even though it was right, because Hashem punished or disciplined the moon by shrinking it. And even though Hashem was obviously right about what he did, he'd still try to appease the moon afterwards. So it's a lesson for us how to act. It's not that Hashem needed an atonement. It was just a musar for us. Next, there is the Rif, and the Rif usually talks about halacha. In this case, he digressed and discussed an Agadeta case, and it says this is to mollify the moon by granting it the renewal of that its renewal when it becomes by Rosh Chodesh. That's an occasion when the Jewish people would bring a he-goat to atone for their sins, not for Hashem. But by bringing the he-goat on Rosh Chodesh, the Jewish people bestow on behalf of God the honor he had promised to the moon. Thus, the meaning of the pasuk is, bring your atonement for me to compensate the moon on my behalf for having diminished it. Number 3, the Ritva. He says that instead of the word kapara here, instead of the usual explanation of atonement, you should interpret it as an appeasement. And now it's bring on my behalf an appeasement to the moon for having diminished it. The moral takes us a little bit further in Gur Aryeh, and he says kapara here, instead of his atonement, it means to wipe away completely, because in this, by allowing the Jews to come closer to Hashem through this korban, that was a way that was an elevation for the moon, because it was bringing the Jews closer to Hashem. It was letting them serve Hashem better, and therefore the complaint of the moon was totally gone. The last explanation is one that does not discuss the moon at all. Rashi in Shavuos and in the Chumash. So it says that chatas LaHashem doesn't mean that Hashem sinned. Chatas LaHashem means an b'shogeg, an unintentional sin that only Hashem knows about. Not even the person who committed the sin knows about it before or afterwards. This would be something like if someone was tameh and went into the Beis HaMikdash, which is forbidden for an impure person to go. So this person didn't know before, didn't know after, but only Hashem knows. And this chatas would atone for that type of sin. So there you have it. We have several explanations. Quick summary. The Tosfos Harush says, as a Musar, Hashem setting an example for people of how masters should deal with their underlings. The Rif says the moon instead of was being honored by making it the catalyst for the Bnei Yisrael to bring a korban to Hashem and get closer to Hashem. The Ritva says kapara is not an atonement, but an appeasement to the moon. Maharal says kapara is used here to wipe away the moon's complaint, as it made it a catalyst to elevate the Bnei Yisrael, offsetting this diminution. And finally, Rashi says lahashem refers to sins that are not known to anyone other than to Hashem. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.